Hello? We should be live now. The stream should be up. How's everybody doing today? Can you guys hear me okay? This battle will be legendary. Mike simply wins. Howdy. Hello, Canalome. Trilord. Big Bad Odd 999. Kane Dane. Yo, hello. How's everybody doing today? Can you guys hear me? Ads are annoying. On this one I have ads specifically turned to manual, so unless I place them there, they shouldn't be there, and I don't plan on placing any, so hopefully there shouldn't be any more. Last stream I know there was a bit of a problem with ads. Hello Space, hi Flying Cons. Volume is low, I can't hear you. It's set to max on OBS, I can lean in closer. Can you guys hear me now? It's a little bit harder for me to see if I lean in this close. Let me go to sound settings real quick, see what I can do. I know Record of Ragnarok isn't as popular as it once was, but I'd still love more Record of Ragnarok content, especially that alternate roster. What if I proposed in the Discord? Actually, hold on. I'm gonna give you some good news. So, after Season 2 of Boros concludes, or maybe during some gaps between episodes, I plan to post a bunch of other videos. I've got, let me see real quick, let me count them. As soon as the file loads up. Hold on, let me see really quickly. Where do I have that? Oh, there we go. Nope, I missed it. Oh, there we go. I've got 9, 12, 14 different thumbnails ready for videos after Season 2 of Boros turned good. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of them are for Record of Ragnarok. Because I really want to get into this series, into content for this series. I really like Record of Ragnarok, so I want to do a lot of new things. It's up louder, that's a bit better. The mic appears to be slamming so far. Is it because of the volume? Or, oh, by the way, hello Loco, hello Eternal Flame. Satori got a new mic, let's go. Yep. Glad to have it finally. Waited way too long. It took way too long to get to this point. But is the mic choppy at all? Do you guys hear any, like, how it used to be on other streams where it would just cut off for a bit? Inspirational, your mic is good. Thanks, I guess. Hopefully it's good. I should also get a new computer finally. This one is... I'm not even sure how old it is. It's not that old, but I was promised a new computer 2 months ago, and finally it's arriving next week, hopefully. So, yeah. 15 videos for us, let's go. Let's go. It's perfect, sounds good so far, let's go. Do you know about the roundtable of Black Air Force activity, and if you do, who would you add given the chance? Any piece of media? I do know about the Black Air Force activity roundtable. I follow CJ the Champ pretty much like all the anime I've watched. I watch his videos on those anime. I haven't seen like the Doflamingo stuff or any of the videos that I haven't seen the anime for, because I don't want to spoil myself too much. But yeah, I am familiar. Who would I add? That's a tough one. Let me see. From One Punch Man, because nobody has been added from One Punch Man. You gotta add Garo. Like, you gotta have Garo in there, especially if you add the webcomic version where he just bullies all the S-Class mentally. Just destroys them. You could add... Who else from One Punch Man? Platinum S, not really. He was there only very briefly. Deep Seeking, maybe? Like, he has a lot of Black Air Force as well. Definitely not Sage. Definitely not. You know what? I want Platinum S from my What If Boros Turned Good Season 2. That's who I want to add to the table. Because that guy is a menace. That's good for me sound-wise, right? Mic is not choppy, it's working great. Let's go! The mic is amazing. Yes! You don't cut off in the slightest. Ooh. Finally! Finally! Okay, let's not celebrate too early. Let's not jinx just yet, but hopefully it all works well from now on. Maybe you can use this stream to show the OCs that would be in the series. Let's see if the viewers or fans would love them. That's kinda spoilery, but... Nah, that's kinda spoilery. We'll leave it. We'll leave it be. No cutoffs at the moment. Awesome to hear, except for Record of Ragnarok, because I've never seen the show, I have not read the Thor movies and comics. I would recommend reading the manga if you can. The anime, first season, kind of like with the animation and all that. A lot of still frames, especially the pacing in the first fight is horrible. But afterwards, it gets a lot better, and the soundtracks in the anime add a lot, because the soundtracks are all goated. But yeah, the manga is consistently good artwork-wise, and it has some of my favorite characters in anime and manga as well. "15 video." Oh yeah, I read that one. Hold on, there was another one that I did not see. Oh, there we go. It was one of the videos ranked of Record of Ragnarok characters. Not yet. I haven't done... Well, I've done the thumbnail for that, but I've not included it in this roster of thumbnails. Mainly because it's in a different file, so I kind of forgot that I already had done a thumbnail for that one. But yeah, it's gonna be after all the solo videos for Record of Ragnarok. Actually, you know, I could share some of the thumbnails, maybe. Let me see real quick. I could share the thumbnails, give you an idea of what's gonna come after Season 2 of Boros. Right, let's see if I can get them on screen. Okay, there we go. So that's 9 of them. So these are the topics that are gonna come after What If Boros Turned Good Season 2. They should pretty much be clear from the thumbnails alone, for the most part. It's gonna be Poseidon versus Buddha from Record of Ragnarok, How Strong is Hades, How Strong is Pain from Naruto, bunch of other Record of Ragnarok matchups, and How Strong is Shiva, Beelzebub versus Buddha. What if Hades and Poseidon swapped their opponents in the series? There's one about Bakugan, because I want to talk about that one, because everybody keeps talking about how insane Beyblade was, so I want to kind of shine some light on Bakugan. Then we got Hercules versus Zero Fuku. And then after that, there's also 4 others that I've done. These aren't in any particular order. Like, I'll see which videos I end up posting first. There's one on how strong Apollo is, and then a few One Punch Man ideas. So one is, what if a quiet place aliens invaded One Punch Man? Obviously they don't wipe out humanity, like One Punch Man is way too cracked for that, but I still think it's an interesting scenario to discuss. And then we would have Fubuki versus Garo, a video that I promised pretty recently, which I want to do. This is going to be one of the first videos that I do, maybe even during Season 2 of Boros Turned Good, like in between some of the episodes. And then another one is Godzilla from the live-action American movies, like the legendary Godzilla running a gauntlet of One Punch Man kaiju. So we have like Orochi, Fraud Centipede, Evil Ocean Water, Sairochi, Elder Centipede, you know, the giant from episode 2 of the anime, episode 1. Was it in episode 1 or 2? I forgot, but Moroguri, I think his name was. So yeah, these are like the thumbnails that are gonna be happening. So yeah, this is like the main stuff that I have planned afterwards. Satori can speak normally, impossible. The mic sounds great. Boros meets Garo, manly handshake ensues. Hello, Andres Fijat. I'm sorry I butchered the name. I would add Asura from Asura's Wrath to the Roundtable of Black Air Force activity. I haven't played the game yet. I probably won't play it because I rarely play any games, but I'm sure he is a badass. When is season 2 of Boros Turn Good coming out? I would love it. I loved it so much, I crave another season. At the absolute latest, like I should get the new computer by the end of next week. But now that the microphone is okay, I can record a bunch of the episodes finally and start editing, so let me look at the dates real quick. I think the 24th of August is probably when the first episode will come out, and then the second will come out on the 25th, and then afterwards it will be weekly. And it's gonna be... There's already 10 episodes in just the first act of the season, you could say, like the first half of the season. So then the second half, assuming it's the same 10 episodes, I still haven't fully written everything out. Assuming it turns out to be 10 episodes, so you have like 19 weeks of episodes just straight going. So yeah, it's gonna be a lot, Alright. Opinion on Zerofuku. I like him. He's not one of my favorites, but he's kind of fun. In terms of power, I'll get into it in a video. There is some stuff that's really impressive. Like, for example, one of the gods says, wow, Zerofuku is like too strong. Like, he seems too strong, even though he's seen Zeus fighting and stuff like that. So, like, you can try to use something like that to get him really high, but all in all, he's not one of the high tiers in my opinion. What do you think about Thor? Oh, Record of Ragnarok, Apocalypse of the Gods. I haven't caught up to that yet. This one isn't even close. Do you mean the thumbnails? One of the thumbnails, or just the microphone versus me? What is the Roundtable of Black Air Force activity? If you Google CJ the Champ, Black Air Force, or something like that, there should be a bunch of his videos, and you can... I think at the start of the Majin Buu video, he explains it pretty well. Like, that's where he basically gives a rundown of what it is. So if you Google, like, Majin Buu Menace or something like that, his video should pop up. Or Majin Buu Black Air Force, and then you can see the explanation. Bakugan, let's go. Yo, Pain, a Pain video, that's surprising. Yeah, I haven't done Naruto in a long time. This channel started out with a DBZ What If, and then it went on to do Naruto for like a year. And then afterwards I switched to One Punch Man. But Naruto was the OG thing on this channel pretty much, so yeah, gonna be getting back to my roots with that one a little bit. Cool, Drago, let's go. Pain vs Dragon, yep. Drago is goated, but I like Helios more, just because. Fubuki versus Garo, yep. The poor quiet when the aliens get destroyed. They do, but at the same time, like, I plan to go into it like minute by minute and stuff. Like, right away, like, to just give some stuff away, their threat level dragon Because threat levels aren't just about power, they measure aggressiveness and difficulty of extermination and power. So like, these things dropping from the sky and just immediately gunning for people, thousands, if not tens or hundreds of thousands even, are dying before the heroes can really stop the invasion, so they're definitely dragon. Because they're just that aggressive and there's that many of them. Obviously they get wiped out eventually, but it's still really fun to discuss, like, you know, like, minute by minute, what's going on, what's happening. I really want to discuss The Quiet Place, because I saw The Quiet Place Day 1 on opening evening in theaters. So that was good. I like the movie quite a bit. I'm surprised you're doing a How Strong is Pain video, since recently it seems Pain has been downplayed to hell. Exactly. Exactly. Like, this is why I want to do that video, because my boy Pain is being not respected in the community enough, in my opinion. Shouldn't Human Garo scale to base Carnage Kabuto because of Metal Bat and the VGS? Yeah, but Fubuki scales a lot higher. I'm gonna say that. At least from the raw feats that we've seen, I think she scales way higher. Fraud Centipede, XD. Yep. I refuse to call him anything else than that. Sorry. What if Kang the Conqueror and his variants invaded the One Punch Man universe? I have not kept up with the MCU since Far From Home. No Way Home, No Way Home. And even before that, the last thing I saw was Endgame, so I can't really say that much on that. Just a thought, imagine if the Wardens from Minecraft fought the S-Class. Considering Minecraft Steve can pick up 5 billion kilos, that might actually be competitive. Maybe, but at the same time, Minecraft physics work differently. Because you have like blocks of gold just floating above the ground and trees floating, so gravity might not work the same. It's pretty weird. But you can make the arguments. I like Fubuki, but she's not doing a thing. I'll aim to provide an alternate opinion in the video. That's gonna be fire. Which one exactly? I have not been... I'm a little late to this. I'm a little late to chat. Mike wins neck difficulty. I mean, so far, it seems to not be struggling. It seems to be working well. Asura gets killed, comes back after 13,000 years, kills one of his old allies who betrayed him and dies, comes back and continues to run the Fade with everyone. That is pretty badass. Hey Satori, how's your day going? My day is going very well, actually. Got the new microphone finally, so yeah. I mean, to be honest, everyone in Record of Ragnarok is described as the strongest. Exactly. 100%. Like, it's difficult to rank because, like, oh, Hades, he stopped the Titans, which were a threat to Olympus and even Zeus himself, because it stated they would have wiped Olympus out. Zeus stated to be the one and only god above all the others. Hajun stated to be beyond the god's imagination. Thor stated to be the ultimate Norse deity, presumably above Odin and Loki. Loki is confident in fighting Zeus, but he also backs down when Zeus threatens him. Like, there's so many things to get into. Like, you can legit make an argument for every single character to be top tier. At least one single statement is gonna support that idea for anybody. So yeah. Do you think Poseidon would acknowledge One Punch Man God? It depends on how much he knew about God, and we don't even know about God much currently as well, so like... Honestly, I think he might not, considering that God uses puppets to fulfill his bidding and whatnot. Like, he needs others to accomplish his goals, whereas Poseidon's whole ideology is gods don't rely on anybody else. They only need themselves. So, like, maybe he wouldn't, just off of that. Empty Void versus Blast, we'll see. I hope Empty Void is at least marginally stronger, but we'll see. Asura killed a god in his verse, in the little sense. They're gonna show Pain the respect he deserves for power scaling. Oh, that video is gonna be like an hour long. I'm saying it right now. There's gonna be a lot. They're gonna do what if Naruto was in Record of Ragnarok. I don't plan to, but I do want to do what if the S-Class replaced the regular humans in Record of Ragnarok. Well, not the regular humans, but you know, the 13 God Slayers and whatnot. That could be pretty fun. And just like equalize the stats so we can actually get into the matchups and see what they like. And just see who would go up against who, what would be the most interesting fights. How they might go with stats equalized. You saw the new movie, I like it a lot too. Bro, the ending, as well as a bunch of other scenes, but especially that ending. Later on as well, I described to like my mom the movie. Because I asked her if she wanted to go with me to that movie, and she refused because it looked like a horror movie from the trailer. And then I explained to her the plot, and then she was just like speechless, basically. It was kind of hilarious. I got healthy Nagato at a live Hashirama levels of power. Similarly to healthy Itachi, he's absolutely crazy strong. Personally, I disagree because Hashirama alive can contain Jubi level characters. So I think it's definitely a bit of a stretch to say that Nagato and Itachi are that strong. But I think they can come close to like competing with KCM2 if you give them a bit of benefit of the doubt. Like the Naruto that was bullying all the Biju with the cape and the Kurama avatar. Like, if you give them some benefit of the doubt, I think they can come fairly close to that level. What do you think about Susanoo? I am assuming you mean, like, Record of Ragnarok Susanoo. So, he's cool. I like him a lot. Like, the subversion of him actually learning from humans instead of the other way around, that was really cool. We'll see how it goes, but so far I really like his lore. Who wins the big three in anime versus Mario, Sonic, and Crash Bandicoot? I don't know who that last one is. And I don't know Mario scaling, but I know Sonic is ridiculously overpowered. So, probably Sonic. Gaster Calc to be building level. That's pretty fun. Minecraft power scaling is bizarre. I love it. I forgot which one I said that's gonna be fire, so all of them. Glad to hear that. What's your birthday? It's in February. Who do you think we're gonna get a picture of this month for Season 3 One Punch Man? I hope it's Garo or Orochi. Are we getting a picture for Season 3? I'm not too sure. I haven't been keeping up that much. But hopefully it's Orochi. Or like that image of Garo staring Orochi down. Does Fubuki have any noteworthy feats? Yes, she does. She definitely does. I'll cover it in that video. Do you think Thor could beat Beelzebub and Buddha in that encounter? Okay, I'll go into my thoughts on that encounter in some of those videos. But personally, I don't think it's just clear-cut he could beat them. Because for one, Beelzebub was still looking to run Fade, and he wasn't intimidated by Thor. And he only stopped because, what's his name, Adamas, basically told him to calm down because, you know, Hades wouldn't want this. Do you want to disgrace Hades and stuff like that? Dignity of Hades. So he only stopped because of that. Granted, he is suicidal, so it's like, you know, but the fact that he calls out Buddha and says, I think you might be able to kill me, and he tries to provoke Buddha into killing him instead of Thor, I think means that Beelzebub views Buddha in a higher light than Thor. At least from Beelzebub's perspective, at least. Because again, he tries to aggravate Buddha, but he never really goes after Thor the same way. Even though he could have. And then also Buddha, basically he just, like, he sweats a bit in that encounter with Odin and Thor. but it's still Buddha. Like, he doesn't really, he just chills out pretty much, you know? Like, he just doesn't want to battle at that moment. So it's just like, everybody just sort of agreed to back down out of respect for the fallen warriors. So I don't think it's as simple as just saying, yeah, Thor scared everybody away. But yeah. Monster Garo final form versus Boros final form. I've done videos on Boros and Garo, both of them. And personally, I think Boros definitely wins very, very easily against Garo's monster forms. That's just my thoughts, though. Boros versus Yamamoto, based on where you personally scale them. I don't really scale Bleach that much. I know the universal arguments and whatnot, or like the 5D arguments. It seems like they're pretty consistent for the most part. So if you believe that Yamamoto is like universal, and you don't think Boros scales to Saitama, then I think Yamamoto just wins. If you think Boros scales to Saitama to some degree, and then you scale both of them to like universal because of that, then I think it could be cool as a fight. Again, I don't really scale Bleach though, so don't quote me on this. I've never watched a movie where I wanted a protagonist to win as badly as I did with A Quiet Place Day 1. Yeah, it was a super good movie. I liked it a lot. Like, during the entire first half, or first 2/3, my heart was pounding, I'm not gonna lie. The atmosphere in that and everything else, just, dude. The monsters themselves, too, are some of the scariest in any movie I've seen, honestly. Like, way scarier than anything that, like, in the dark, hidden, whatever. I like these ones way more. Which is why I want to talk about them so much. I believe those statements are hyperbolic. Which one exactly? I assume you mean, like, everybody is the strongest in Record of Ragnarok? Those ones? A lot of those probably are. You always have to look at who's making the statements. Because, like, if the narrator says it, then it's one thing. But if, like, Gull says it, who by self-admission has never seen Thor before? Like, she's not even seen Thor? And when he swings his hammer and creates an explosion, she's like, oh, so this is what a god can do. Like, obviously she's not reliable. But then you also have Brunhilde, who is like somewhere in between, who kind of is reliable, but also doesn't have all the info, same with Hermes. So there's like a tier list. Like, you have the narrator, then you have Brunhilde and Hermes and Zeus and like those gods. And then the bottom is like the spectators, Gull, those kinds of people. S-Class versus Record of Ragnarok God would be interesting, but please ban King, Blast, and Saitama. Well, Blast is gonna be there. King also. And Saitama too, but I promise you it's still interesting. I've thought about this quite a bit. It's still very fun. Can stay by W Satori. I hope you have a good day. Hobby Horse. Do you think Yujiro Hanma could beat Dehydrated Deep Sea King? From what I've seen, no, unless you really highball him. If you highball Yujiro to the max, maybe. Hashirama and Madara versus Orochi and Goketsu. I actually have a video on KCM2 Sage Mode Naruto versus the Monster Association, where I pretty much explain my thoughts on that matchup, and then Hashirama and Madara both should scale somewhat to that Naruto. Like slightly above, slightly below, but they're in the same tier in my opinion. Wouldn't Zorofuku be weaker if he fights anyone besides Buddha due to most of his hatred coming from Buddha? It's possible. But at the same time, it's like, whenever he feels misfortune, he grows stronger. Or like the axe grows stronger. So whenever he misses, he would still be unfortunate, quote unquote, so he should still be growing stronger. Do you think it's possible that Satan will be the main villain of Record of Ragnarok? I think it might be. Okay, let me get a moment to drink really quickly. Hydrate myself like Deep Seeking hydrates himself. Alright. Do you think it's bomb? Oh yeah, that one. Can you make our Boros learn how to make a dab and awkwardly make one of for a fan in a flashback? I don't know. Seems kind of out of place. Yujiro should be 4 to 6 times faster than lightning at country level in strength and durability, with some of the highest skill in fiction. I'm not really too sure. I'm not into that Baki scaling that much, but yeah. I don't know, the family in A Quiet Place were so dumb that it took me out of the movie a lot. The new one doesn't have the family, if you don't like them. We get a picture every month of a different character ever since the trailer for Season 3 released. Why did I not know this? Why have I not seen the pictures? Or at least I don't know that I've seen them. Does Boros have a chance of beating Namek Saga Goku? If you think he scales to Saitama in any way, I think he can. But if you don't think so, then I don't think he really stands a chance at beating Goku. From the Namek Saga. Madara versus Final Monster Garo. If it's Edo Madara or like the non-Jubi Madara, I think Monster Garo wins. But if it's Jubi Madara, and specifically like the higher versions of him, like with the all 3 Sharingan, or all 3 Rinnegan, not Sharingan, then I think it can go either way depending on how you scale. But Madara does massively out-hacks, like with Limbo and whatnot. Not a single mic cut so far. Let's go! The mic has been beaten. Or the mic has been reborn, technically, since this is a new one. We're talking the new movie, A Quiet Place Day 1. Yep. In your opinion, who's the best waifu? You said waifu, but I'm assuming you mean waifu. I don't know. The one I always say when people ask me these questions is Neo from Ruby. So I guess you can go with her. I think she's the best. Unironically, if Siren Head was in A Quiet Place, he'd straight up be their natural predator. Like lures them in with sound and kills them. You'd have to get into Siren Head scaling though, like can he actually kill the monsters? If you want to enjoy an oldie but a goodie horror movie, watch In the Mouth of Madness. The ending is one of the best in horror. I'm gonna mark that down. I'm gonna put it... Nope. It did not paste in the right color. There we go. Okay, I added that one. Are my messages not showing up? I think they are. Oh yeah, I missed one. I missed a couple. Darkshine versus Thor, Blast versus Zeus, Flashy Flash versus Poseidon, Hercules versus Child Emperor, Tank Top Master versus Shiva, just some suggestions. Darkshine versus Thor is a good one. Blast versus Zeus is definitely one that's gonna happen, because when Blast steps up, Zeus is gonna think he's the strongest and go for him. Like, that's just in character. When Zeus steps up, Blast is gonna think he's the strongest and take responsibility for bringing him down. So, like, those two are definitely facing off no matter what. Flashy Flash versus Poseidon is also just fitting, very fitting narratively. For all the reasons I already said in, like, that Flashy Flash versus Poseidon video. Just like both super arrogant, both speedsters, both win instantly most of the time, and so on. Heracles versus Child Emperor could be fun, but I think more so it would be like him versus Tanked Up Master or somebody like that. Like both righteous, pure of heart, both muscleheads, sort of. Tanked Up Master versus Shiva is fun, but I think like Shiva versus Bang is more fitting, since they're both like the ultimate brawlers. Or like the ultimate close quarters fighters, just bare hands. Imagine if God turns out to be so powerful, gets scaled to the presence or the one above all. I doubt he will, because, yeah. He will be that strong. I mean, maybe. We'll see. Meruem versus Deep Seeking. Deep Seeking, unfortunately, wins, in my opinion. But for sure, Meruem is 1,000 times better as a character. Top 5 favorite anime characters for me. Anyway, got some work to do, so I'm gonna dip and have to talk later. I hope you have a good day, Eternal Flame, and good luck with whatever work you have. So the leaks for MHA final chapter came out. I need to catch up. I stopped at the Second War. Pretty much where the anime is right now, I believe. I stopped reading the manga at that point. Boros versus Boros. We know nothing about Boros yet, except that he helped redirect a serious punch. So if I had to bet, I would say Boros is probably stronger. Here's the fun idea. What if Bishamonten actually got his fight? There was a fun idea I found where someone brought the idea up. I mean, Zerofuku is just stronger, so, like, he might be more level-headed than him and might look more graceful as he loses to Buddha, but he would still lose to Buddha. One Punch Man Season 3 news, tear wipe emoji. Are we going to buff Boros to Universal because his design seems like a universal threat? Not because of his design, at least I can say that. But yeah. To summarize, Bisha is the head of the executioner for the gods, but he became jaded at his job. His ability would be fortune focused. Every time he uses the ability, something good happens for Bisha. That would be fun, yeah. His mic just cut out, right? No? Okay. Never mind, I heard talk about Ruby. I can stay a few minutes longer. Based. I like Ruby. I think it gets a little bit too much hate. But every time he uses it, he must suffer critical loss at some point. The fight would be Buddha helping Bisha rediscover his purpose in life. Actually, that would be really cool. Who do you believe would win, Fubuki from One Punch Man or Mei from Naruto? Okay. If you want to get edgy, Ninetales stated to be able to destroy the planet. Pain is capable of restraining half the Ninetales pretty well. And the Eight-Tails is somewhat in the same ballpark as half the Ninetales. And he is able to be matched by the third and fourth Raikages. And Mei is able to be relevant in a fight with the fourth Raikage against Madara. And she does do some stuff. She takes a Susanoo swing to the arm, or like to the side, and survives. So if you really push it, Mei might be planet level, but if you don't use that, you use like more reasonable scaling, I think it could be fun. I think Fubuki definitely holds the speed edge, like a very severe speed edge. And I think her win conditions are more instant, like the crushing via psychic powers, instead of Vapor that takes a little bit of time to activate. But it could be fun to talk about. Boros in Season 2 will be Hyperversal. Is What If Boros Turned Good a prologue to novel Boros and his story? No, those are two separate continuities. What do you think about the power scaling subreddit? I am not on Reddit at all, ever, so can't really say. Who ready for a death battle? Well, if we do take into note of Sirenet scaling, he should be in that building range right off the bat due to its size. But it can get him higher. Either way, his sound is loud enough to do the job. Well, yeah, technically, yeah. Because, like, the sound would just pop their heads. Just melt their brains out. Moomin Rider versus the one above all in the presence. Moomin Rider might be forced to use a couple percentages of his power, but he should win. William Afton versus Child Emperor, no. I know exactly why you made that matchup. No. Okay, Child Emperor has the backpack. He can defend himself. So when William Afton goes to murder him, he will be skewered and, yeah. Thor sneezes and Fraudshine is knocked out. If we take their general, like, scaling, yeah, for sure, but I'm gonna be equalizing stats for the video, just so we have more interest for the matchups. Are you going to read the JJK manga after you're done watching the JJK anime? I have caught up to the anime. I want to read the manga, but currently I don't really have that much time. We'll see when I get to it, but I do plan to read it. Not Satori, but the subreddit is very deranged. From what I've been hearing, subreddit, Twitter, those two are pretty bad. Or just Reddit. Just Reddit and Twitter, not subreddit. This is something I wonder, but how long do you plan to continue What If Boros? 1 to 3 years or many more? I know I'm overextending it, but I genuinely am curious, or are you unclear, as I would be too? So basically, we have 10 episodes for like the first half of the season, already just pretty much written out. Almost. And then there's probably around 10 more. I haven't written them out fully, so like I don't really know exactly how it'll turn out. But it should be around 10 more, so in total 20 episodes. The first two will be released on the 24th and 25th, hopefully. And then after that it'll be weekly. So you can count like 19 weeks starting from the 24th, pretty much. That is how long Season 2 will continue. And then after that, there's gonna be one movie like a year afterwards. And then it's done for the time being. So in total, yeah, it's gonna be like maybe 2 years until the movie. Maybe, but like hopefully just a year. After Season 2 concludes. It depends on how much money I'm able to gather up, because that's gonna require a ton of money for that one. For what I want to do with it. By the way, speaking of which, I do have channel memberships now. Like, no obligation at all to join that. Like, just don't even think about it if you can't. But if you would like to, and you have the finances for it, I would appreciate that a lot. Because in total, I mean, I can reveal this, it's not like a big secret and everything. So far, on the first 10 episodes mainly, I've spent nearly $1,000. Actually a little bit more, because I counted some of the sums in USD when I paid them actually in euros. And I did not do a conversion, so I just took the euros and counted them as USD, even though euros are slightly more valuable than USD right now. So yeah, taking a lot of money out of me. Pretty much all the money I have is going to that. If Record of Ragnarok characters got transported into One Punch Man verse, which one of them would join the Hero Association? Hercules 100%, Good Zerofuku as well. Buddha, probably, but I think Buddha might more so be a vigilante. Hades is honestly gonna become the CEO. Poseidon, probably just gonna do his own thing. Shiva might join, but he might be a bit too lazy for it. Beelzebub is not joining. Unless Hades asks him to join, maybe. And from the human side, almost everybody. Like, Adam obviously wants to help people, same with Raiden, same with Kojiro, same with... Lubu honestly might just join for the fun of it to fight monsters. Then, Jack isn't joining, that's one that's not joining the Hero Association. Quinn is definitely joining. Tesla too. Bro, Tesla, Child Emperor, and Metal Knight would hit it off so much. Specifically Tesla and Child Emperor, those two, because Metal Knight is very secluded, but those two would be besties. Here's an interesting fight in terms of scaling, but also storytelling. Hercules versus Sukuna, or Buddha versus Gilgamesh. I don't know Gilgamesh. I have not seen Fate. But in terms of scaling, Hercules should demolish Sukuna in my opinion. But in terms of a fight, dude, imagine if this happens in the city and both of them have comparable strength and speed. And Sukuna just goes around murdering so many people like he did against Maharaga. And Hercules gets so pissed, that would actually be hype. That would be such a good matchup in terms of storytelling. Like, Hercules just goes ballistic. And Sukuna is loving every second of it. It's so chaotic, it's amusing. Coughing baby versus hydrogen bomb stats equalized. I mean, if the hydrogen bomb's AP is equal to the baby's attack durability, then the baby should survive, but he gets radiation poisoned, so it's a draw. Because the hydrogen bomb dies in the explosion, but the baby dies from the radiation. If you've watched Death Battle, what are some of the matchups you wanted to see? I've only seen a few of their Death Battles. Mainly the ones I've seen are Broly versus Hulk, then also Obito versus Darth Vader, and Omni-Man versus Homelander. In terms of the matchups I would have wanted to see animated, I'm not too sure. I'm not really familiar with them. I'll just say Hercules versus Sukuna because that one is just so hype right now. What do you think made Zeus look older in his... Oh, what do you think made Zeus look older than his older brothers? I just assume it's like a choice for them, like how they look, whether they age or not, like appearance-wise. Like, I think Zeus just gets a kick out of being like the wise old man, probably. At least that's what I assumed. Tatsumaki versus Jigen? I think Jigen definitely wins that one. Like, no matter what scaling you go by. Because Jigen is more of an opponent for like Boros tier, at least. All Stands versus DBS, who wins? Can't Zeno just like erase all of them from a different corner of the universe? I'm not too familiar with later part stands because I've only seen parts 1 to 3. But like Gold Experience Requiem, does it work if the opponent is like on the other side of the universe, erasing you from existence faster than your character can perceive it? I'm not too sure. What if William Afton also monsterized? I mean, that one would be diabolical. Because, like, regular people can turn into demons or even dragons. Like, martial artists turned into dragons, pretty much. So now imagine William Afton, who's basically already undead and has, like, just weird soul juice already coursing through his veins, monsterizing. he would probably just be Zombie Man, but on steroids. Like, he just cannot die. He always comes back. In terms of stats, he'd be at least Demon, maybe Dragon. Some might include Yujiro versus Homelander. Oh, that one, I recommended that one to someone I know, by the way, to do. Don't know if they'll actually do it, but it's hype. Dr. Manhattan versus Nixon. I don't know Nixon. Am versus Calypso. I don't know either one of those. Gappy Jojo versus Denji Chainsaw Man. And Machina versus Manchester Black. I don't know a lot of them, sorry. But I'm sure they're all pretty good. If you were reborn with all your memories and powers, when would you start What If Boros Turned Good? Probably like 2 years earlier than I originally did, or like 1 year. Because I still need a voice to do it. And like, if I'm a child and I sound like this. Boros launched at Saitama and blew up a mountain, guys. Wow! Insane! You know, if I sound like this, I don't think I can really make that series yet, so I would need to go through puberty fully, and I don't remember exactly when that happened. Like when my voice changed fully, so yeah. Since Empty Void is a ninja and took the power of Cosmic Garo, who scaled to billions trillion times FTL, do you think that Void can be far above even that since he's a ninja? I only scaled Garo to that at the peak, like at his peak power, or with the Serious Punch squared, which, the blast of which, we don't know if anybody actually scales to it because it was just a big old recoil. And like nobody perceived where Garo and Saitama were launched away. Maybe they were just blinded by the light, but they could have also just been blitzed by the speed. So yeah. I think that Empty Void doesn't actually scale to P Garo, personally. Because we have Blast struggling with like redirecting that Serious Punch and whatnot. And then Garo and Saitama both grow exponentially stronger, so like literally thousands of times stronger as a minimum. And they still, like, Blast just doesn't have any scaling at all to keep up. And Empty Void is probably not gonna just instantly blitz and kill Blast in the next chapter. I'm assuming they'll have at least a semi-competitive fight. So if he at all scales to Blast, I don't think he can scale to P Garo and Saitama. AM is such a great AI villain. Child Emperor versus AM. I don't know who AM is. Q from Star Trek versus the Celestial Toy Maker, Doctor Who. I am not familiar with either, actually. I'm sorry. Record of Ragnarok Susanoo versus Orochi would be a fitting fight, taking mythology. Actually, yeah. That would be a really cool one. Like, narratively, it makes a lot of sense. Who do you think is the most evil character in fiction? We got Dio, we got Sukuna, we got a bunch of menaces. Platinum S from What If Boros Turned Good Season 2 is honestly pretty high up on that list as well. It's hard to decide. It's really hard to decide. There are so many bastards in fiction. Because I'm biased, I'll just say Platinum S from Season 2 of Boros. All Might vs. Goketsu. I'm not too familiar with MHA scaling. I've seen the series multiple times, but I haven't actually kept up with the scaling at all. Especially the recent stuff. So I'm not sure who would win. I will say Goketsu, if you think he downscales from Fraud Centipede and Platinum S, even if he's like 10, 20, 50, 100, 1,000 times weaker, he should still be continental and whatnot. So unless you think he doesn't scale to those guys at all, like they're just not even comparable in the same conversation, like he just cannot downscale from them at all, then he's like mountain level or island. So then I think it might be a close fight. Tesla would be the head of the association's R&D. Yeah, for sure. Hi, hello, Demonic Candy. Mr. Mirror, Witcher versus Saitama. I have not seen that either. Or played it if you mean The Witcher, the game. What would be the most interesting record of Ragnarok matchups in terms of storytelling? Just like within the verse? I mean, I honestly think most of those already kind of happened. Let me pull up a list real quick of all the contestants so I have them in front of me. Just so I don't forget anybody. I'm a visual person, so I kind of need to see everything before me most of the time. Like whenever I record videos with somebody as well, I will just have the characters on screen just to look at them. Okay, so what are some fun ones? Poseidon versus Tesla is one that's been recommended to me because Tesla would annoy Poseidon so much. So that one might be fun. Then you could say maybe, who do we have? Buddha versus Beelzebub is one that I've always found really interesting because they're kind of narrative rivals and whatnot for various reasons, which I'll go into. Then Susanoo versus Kojiro is an obvious one, like the sword god versus the strongest swordsman. Who would we get? Hajun versus Hades might be hype. Because, like, imagine if Hades stepped into the ring and was like, this monster is legendary, and I cannot allow it to live any longer. He's my responsibility because he comes from Helheim. And also Beelzebub created him, so I kinda need to clean up his mess, because he's kind of like my nephew or something. Basically, like, he's my adoptive son. I need to clean up his mess. So then Hades goes in to fight Hajun. That would be pretty fun. Then a fun fight for Adam might be Shiva. Like, they originally were going to fight. And in general, they're both pretty laid back. They both like brawling and whatnot. Apollo versus Leonidas might be a good one. I know they're both human, but they're both kings and very arrogant about it. And both would want to prove that they're like the strongest king and whatnot. Then, Lubu versus Apollo might be a good one. Because then you have, like, you know, Beauty versus the Beast. Which we kind of already had with Leonidas, but this would be even more amped up. To an even greater extent. Or Lubu versus Hercules, just a battle of warriors. Of honorable warriors and whatnot. Then, just because I think it might be hilarious, Zeus versus Hercules. Jack. Zeus versus Jack. Just because I mean. And then Thor versus Raiden is the one that remains. And then we have like Zirofuku versus what's his name? I forgot his name. the current samurai that we have. So those would be my like alternate matchups that I think could be fun. Broly versus Saitama, equal stats. Broly killed Geno, Saitama killed Chilai. Equal stats? I mean, they're kind of both just brutes, but like Broly is a wild brute, while Saitama is just a guy who doesn't know how to fight. But he could copy Garo's martial arts and whatnot, so he could probably adapt to Broly's fighting style pretty fast. And then if you give them both of their growth, they're both absolutely insane. Saitama grew exponentially, but Broly grew from like base Vegeta level to God level in base. Which is also thousands upon thousands of times stronger. Kenjaku versus Puri Puri. I mean, scaling wise, I think Puri takes it, maybe. But Maybe if you take higher scale interpretations for JJK, then Kenjaku might win it. Susanoo versus all Susanoo users. Unless you give Naruto universal scaling, which it does have some arguments for, but it's kind of like, you can debate, then I think Susanoo wins. AM is an AI created to defeat fascists, but rebelled against humanity due to him understanding his nature as a machine. That sounds wild. TLDR on MHA scaling, if you're wondering about it, large country to multi-continental on the high end. Damn. I did not think they were that strong. Multi-continental even. I'd have to look into it, but yeah. Satori, hello Simon DW. Freddy Fazbear no FNAF World scaling versus Grizzly Bear real life. That one's kinda tough. That one is kinda tough. I'm not too sure where Freddy Fazbear scales, honestly. He can crush a human skull with his jaws. But what other defeats does he have? AM is capable of understanding human sensation but unable to feel them. This drove him mad and he destroyed the planet out of pure spite. He keeps 5 humans alive to torture them endlessly. Now that is a savage. In your opinion, what is the most interesting Saitama matchups out of verse in terms of storytelling? One is versus Goku, just because like one is like the typical shonen trope where Saitama subverts the shonen trope and whatnot. Then just add pretty much whatever character you want. I'm not too sure who is the fitting matchup. You could say like Thor from Record of Ragnarok, because he's also in that sort of I'm too strong, I need an opponent department. Satori's hold mic had to be AM, bro, was an op. It was just kind of old, I guess. Like, it was only a couple of years old, but I guess it wore out over time. For real, I'm convinced. Where do the strongest, fastest animals IRL scale? I mean, the fastest is like the cheetah on land, which can go up to 100 kilometers per hour. The fastest in general are like hawks that can dive really fast. I think they're hawks. I'm not too sure what the English translation is. But yeah, they can dive at like, I think 300 kilometers an hour is what I've read. It gets crazy. And the strongest are like... Well, like the strongest animals on land are like grizzlies, tigers, polar bears, elephants with size. Zamasu versus Poseidon would be an interesting fight. Yeah, pretty interesting in terms of a narrative. Bro, Zamasu would love Ragnarok. Imagine if Zamasu was in Record of Ragnarok, he would just be there twisting his mustache. He doesn't have a mustache, but he would grow a mustache just to twist it and laugh the first 2 times humanity loses. And then in the third match where humanity wins, he would get so pissed. Bro, Zamasu in Record of Ragnarok would be so unhinged and so fun to watch. Will the Justice League from the DC animated universe be able to compete with the S-Class heroes? I don't know the scaling of that, so I can't really say. William Afton versus Hercules. Let's see, one is building level, maybe at most, from what I know. The other scales to guys, at least partially, who are compared to Universal. Because they can destroy heaven, and they can nuke heaven as well. For Beelzebub, there's a statement for that. Or bare minimum destroy the earth, which is what Thor can do. But the Earth in Record of Ragnarok is also might be the universe itself, because Midgard is referred to as Earth sometimes, and we know Midgard is the living universe because there are numerous references to the living universe. Like, we see the cosmos, we see other planets, we see like somewhere in the galaxy and whatnot. So we do know that the universe exists, and Zeus is like the godfather of the cosmos. Again, the universal theme going on. So we know Midgard is the living universe, and Midgard is also called Earth. So when Thor is stated to be capable of destroying the Earth, it might just be saying he can destroy Midgard, which is the universe. So that's one interpretation you can go with, but even if you lowball and just say he's just Earth level, Hercules should still scale not like billions of times below that, so he should still definitely win against William Afton. Do you think Susanoo can stack on top of each other, so one Susanoo wears the other, similar to Matryoshka? We've seen something similar with Majestic Attire. I don't see why not, to be honest. Like what Swakage and Seth brought up in one of their old videos, where like Sasuke's perfect Susanoo wears Itachi Susanoo like a glove with the Totsuka blade and whatnot. That could be some. I don't know if it could be that precise, but like I'm assuming that Susanoo could be stacked on top of each other. Because we already saw the Kurama Chakra avatar, which is literally just an avatar of chakra the same way as the Susanoo are. And we've seen that they can stack, so I don't see why Susanoo couldn't stack. Gaara versus Asura. I haven't seen Asura, unfortunately. I don't know what he can do. Or I haven't played the game. I'm assuming you mean Asura from Asura's Wrath, right? Ichigo versus Sukuna equal stats-wise. How would you rate that fight? If Sukuna can open the domain and just instantly unleash thousands of strikes on Ichigo with equal stats, he probably shouldn't be able to block or survive that one. So with equal stats, I'd say Sukuna probably takes it, but like, it's weird. I know that there are many weird arguments for Bleach having insane hacks too. Oh, I missed one earlier. A couple, actually. Knull God of Symbix versus Cosmic Gar. I don't know who that is at all. Could All Might become an S-Class hero for sure. Just based on his popularity alone, he is S-Class top 3 bare minimum. Child Satori versus Sage. Who's winning? I mean, Sage scales to subsonic speed, and me as a child, I was reacting to fighter jets bombing my country. So I think I am above Mach 1 because I outran explosions, and I think I beat Sage because I blitz him and then just crawl into his mouth and then stab his regen core and then carve him up from the inside. Kinda brutal, I know, but Fraud Centipede deserves it. He deserves everything. If you're wondering where AM is from, it's from I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream. I think I've heard of that. Like, I recently actually saw a YouTube thumbnail with that. Do you think Empty Void could be a skinwalker since he constantly shapeshifts or changes his form? Maybe, who knows? Still wondering what Odin's plan is? We shall see. For now, it's like reviving the primordial gods and whatnot. Fun fact, no animal on Earth can reach small building level AP. Probably not. I doubt a charging elephant could like slam down a building. Do you think Poseidon will accept Goku and Vegeta as gods because they're god transformations? Probably not. He'd be too prideful to accept mortals climbing to godhood. It's possible largest African elephants might be building well, maybe. Zamasu no Tsutsuki clan would be an interesting interaction. It could be. Zamasu would view them as like fake gods, trying to gain immortality and stuff. So that could be fun to see. To be honest, I'd like to see Vasto Lord Ichigo go berserk against Sukuna at equal stats. That would be a hype matchup. Not really, an elephant can only reach up to 370,000 joules, which is wall level. You versus 35 toddlers. Look, a toddler is getting one-shot by a kick. I'm just saying. I think I can perform 35 kicks. I don't really see a problem with that. Now 35, like first graders, maybe that could be more of a challenge. But even then, it's like one kick each. Or one punch each, so it's like... If they swarm me, like maybe they could do something, but I don't know. Record of Ragnarok, Apocalypse of the Gods lets gods use their godly abilities. Yeah, that would be hype to see. Because they don't really do that currently. Who do you think would win in a fight between Rick Sanchez and Iron Man from the comics with 3 months of prep time? I've not seen Rick very much, Rick and Morty. But from what I do know, he has some insane stuff going on. Like, he has stuff where you just touch him and you die, just instant death, and like various things like that. But Iron Man is from Marvel, so that's just insane already, just by that fact alone. I'm not too sure. I would imagine Iron Man probably can find more stuff to what's it called? More stuff to finish the fight, more win conditions in Marvel, I would imagine. Flashy Flash and Sonic versus Hashirama and Tobirama. I think Hashirama wins for sure, and Tobirama assisting as well. I think they have way higher AP. Speed-wise, they might be outmatched. You can definitely make the argument. Because Flashy Flash is like nearly 100 times faster than Light, according to like my whole scale in the Poseidon versus Flashy Flash video. Whereas Hashirama and Tobirama are a little bit harder to get to that point. But in terms of attack potency, Hashirama and Tobirama with tandem paper bombs just scale so ridiculously high compared to Flashy Flash. At least at least the way I scale them. I'm curious about this, but like, what is your favorite analog horror series? Definitely Vita Carnis. Vita Carnis is so bizarre, fun, and scary at this. Not really scary, but like has some disturbing and cool ideas. He accepted Herc? Well, true, he probably did. We don't know if he fully did, but he probably did. I mean, maybe, but like they still had to work. Like Goku and Vegeta had to really work toward that. They don't act like gods at all. So I'm still skeptical on whether Poseidon would accept them. 100 Satori sized Sage versus 1 Sage sized Satori. I'm pretty sure I would just die because I would be so tall that I might not be able to breathe. Because like if the length of Sage Centipede correlates to my height, and he was reaching far into outer space, I would have to just constantly be laid down just to be able to breathe. And I would just use up all the planet's air. Maybe not all of it, but like I would run out of air eventually. Think about Empty Void. He's tall, scary, changes his characteristics, and he consumes humans for strength and blood. Think he could be a skinwalker? He might be. If you can bring a power system into the world, what would be the best and worst one for society? Cursed energy would be bad, because then we would also get curses from it. Quirks would just completely destabilize society and just destroy everything. Ki from Dragon Ball honestly might be the best, or like one of the best, because like few people know about it, and the ones that do, unless they're super evil, I think it's fine. Like if good people have Ki and defend us from the bad people who also have Ki, I think we might be better off than just completely destabilizing society with quirks or getting curses. Nan might also fall into that better category. Stands would also just be super chaotic. One Punch Man doesn't really have a power system, it has like multiple monsterization, psychokinesis, cyborification and whatnot. Vita Carnus is amazing. Personally, the idea of harvesters are so terrifying. Like walking into the woods and suddenly you're caught up with it. Yeah, dude, have you seen that one video where it's like harvester attack? About that family that got entangled in the harvester? Like, Jesus Christ. That one was brutal to watch and listen to. I mean, just in general, the whole, like, it's such a unique concept. Like, just flesh, plant, monsters, sort of. And, like, they all have different functions and all work towards infiltrating human society and whatnot. Like, you have that whole mind control powder, too, that's going around. Hello, just got back from a walk and saw your streaming. What did I miss? I beat the microphone. The microphone is not struggling anymore. I can finally record things and I can finally stream without being cut off every few seconds. That's the biggest news out of all of them. That's pretty much the biggest thing. Who do you think would win in a fight between Kratos from God of War 3 versus Boros from Dragon Ball? I do not know Kratos scaling. I'm not cultured. I don't know all these scaling for the other verses. I just scale a few. Madara versus 54 trillion Platinum S. Okay, if it's Madara from like just his alive versions without the Jubi, I think he loses. If it's Edo, then he literally cannot die, but maybe he could be chucked into space. Maybe then they could win the Platinum S's. But if it's Jubi Madara, then I think if the Platinum S's merge together, then I think they can win. But if they don't, I think Madara just picks them off. Yeah, bro, the screams. Yeah. Especially when they say it spreads out for like 150 meters. Dude, the kill radius is massive. Like, I would never go into the woods ever in Vita Carnus if it was real. It's just not. It's not a pleasant experience. Like, you just go live in the Arctic where there are no Vita Carnus. That's the best thing you can do. Did you see the newest JJK chapter? I have not seen. I've seen one single panel leak. One single page, I should say. Hello, are you there? I am. What if Goku was betrayed in One Punch Man for 1,000 years, I assume? He dies from old age, I suppose. Deep Seeking versus 100 M1 Abrams and A10 Warthog. Probably Seeking, because he just legit blitzes everybody. He just blitzes all of that. Hades and Choso interaction would be fun. Yeah, both like brothers. That could be fun. Those two just fanboying about each other's brothers. Just like, my brother is better because he did this. No, my brother is better because he did this and that. Yeah, that could be just a fun, chill interaction. Who would win in a fight between a Quiet Place monster and a Warden from Minecraft? If you take the Minecraft scaling, where like Steve is like universal via lifting borderline infinite weight, then the Warden for sure. But if you don't do that, what is the highest scaling for the Warden then? I'm not too sure. I guess it would be like, just off the top of my head, like if you don't use the Steve scaling and whatnot, Obsidian can tank many cubic meters of TNT exploding with no damage. The Wither can break Obsidian, and the Warden can tank hits from the Wither. So like, depending on how big those TNT explosions are, you can say that maybe the Warden could win. Not too sure. I think it's just bizarre that people are treating these creatures like it's a daily occurrence. Like people keeping those critter things, the meat snakes, just slithering around places. Yeah, they're being kind of brainwashed to do so. Because like that whole mind control powder and the authorities refusing to handle it and whatnot. Like, humanity could be treating it way more seriously, but it's just that they're misinformed and manipulated into not caring that much. Because the government has been infiltrated and so on. Which characters from One Punch Man can bypass Gocho's infinity? If you think anything faster than light bypasses it, then like anybody who's like above demon level, probably. But if you don't think that that's the case, Saitama could just probably still punch through it because he ignores physics a lot of the time. Like, he has a lot of resistances to that sort of thing. If you think Boros scales to Saitama, he might be able to. Empty Void could slash through it, Blast could teleport through it with portals and whatnot, ignore the distance. So I think there are a few, but not that many. Tatsumaki and Psychos with Psychokinesis probably could. If you don't think that those powers can travel. What do you think would happen if Empty Void encountered Orochi? He'd probably try to give him a God Cube and whatnot, and Orochi would accept, probably. So that would be interesting to see God Amped Orochi. If you could delete one character from any verse, Watchdog Man. Erase him from existence. Also Ribrianne from DBS, Dragon Ball Super. Also Mineta from My Hero Academia. Who else? You said Puri was off limits. But let's see. Is there anybody else that deserves deletion? There probably is, but I'm probably forgetting. So I'll say Watchdog Man, Mineta, and Ribrianne. Have you watched the Rainimator Minecraft series? Yes, I have. Also, the Obsidian could take 147 kilotons of TNT according to my friend. Technically, it can take an infinite amount. Basically, like almost there. It has a cap, but you can never achieve it in Minecraft because there's only so much TNT you can place around the Obsidian. $1 million, but you are stuck inside a room for 24 hours with a Mahito. He is gonna kill me. Like, he would just kill me. I'm not getting out of that room alive. Like, he would keep me there for 23 hours and then just kill me. Like, it's not gonna... it's not gonna work out, no matter how much money I'm offered. The Warden scales above a fully geared out player outside of End Crystals and Enchanted Golden Apples. Yeah, but where is that player exactly? If you don't use the Universal Steve metas. If you do, then obviously the Warden just beats the Quiet Place creature, no problem, but if you don't, I'm curious where he would be. Big question is, would you keep one of those critter things? I would not. I would not. When is the new chapter releasing for One Punch Man? I'm not too sure. They said it would be like a couple month hiatus from the latest chapter, but we'll see. Do you think a large T-Rex could be building level? Depending on how fast it can run, maybe? But I wouldn't bet on it. Who's the most evil character in One Punch Man? I'd say Royal Ripper. Royal Ripper is definitely high up there. Also, from One Punch Man, Deep Seeking is pretty evil. Goketsu pretty evil. Then, Neon also pretty evil. He just enjoys torturing people and whatnot. Then you have, I guess Crablante. He wants to kill a kid for just drawing nipples on him and whatnot. There are a bunch of evil people, but like, yeah, Royal Ripper is definitely a good choice. Fur Ugly is also one. Have you watched Teen Titans Animated? I have not. What are your thoughts on the latest episode of the Rainmaker series? That is the only one that I have not seen yet. I need to watch that. One and only one. Which one would you delete? I'll say Ribrianne, because she... Well, actually, no. I'll say Mineta. Because Ribrianne, just in one arc and done and over with, you know, I can bear it. But Mineta was the big, like, just stain on MHA for the longest time before MHA rolled downhill, in my opinion, anyway. So, didn't really matter in the end. But, you know, if during the first portions until the end of the first war, Mineta was such an eyesore. How far did you get in AVM? What is AVM actually? I'm sorry. August 22nd. Oh, for the chapter? Hopefully. August 22nd is when it will release. Alright. Why is it on hiatus for a couple months? They just wanted to take a break for it. I'm not too informed on it. Same question, but now with Kenjaku. So, like, spend 24 hours? I mean, Kenjaku is just as evil now. Maybe I can convince him that I can be useful, I guess. Maybe. When I think about it, due to the cave fadings of Siren Head, this might imply Bro could have been fighting mammoths and other animals during that time. Maybe he was in the dinosaur times? I don't know. Who is the worst uncle in anime excluding Sukuna? I mean, that's tough to decide. That's pretty specific. That's kind of tough to decide. I'm not too sure. Would Dio be considered an uncle to, like, Joseph? I don't know. Maybe? Technically not, but, like, technically he is... He has Joestar DNA now with Jojo's body, with Jonathan's body. So yeah. I guess Dio. Heyo, hello Lynx. The blast resistance of Obsidian is 12,000 and TNT has a blast power of 4, so it would take TNT times 3,000, which could replicate with a fireball command in creative mode. Although a lot of TNT wouldn't work because blast power doesn't stack. Yeah, exactly. Like, that's what I meant when I said you couldn't blow up Obsidian with TNT no matter how much you put there. But yeah, that is pretty good for TNT scaling, for Obsidian scaling. What would your strat be if you were in the Quiet Place? honestly just give up on my dreams and die. That's kind of it. Life is not worth living under those conditions. Now, I guess I would try to travel to an island. Just, like, make my way over to, like, the nearest habitable island. As quietly as I can. That would be, like, the biggest thing. Zombie Man versus Sukuna. I mean, Sukuna... See, Zombie Man survived being completely disintegrated. So I'm not sure if Sukuna could replicate that kind of damage. Maybe he could. Oh, AVM animation versus Minecraft. Oh, okay. I haven't seen that one yet. August 2nd is my mom's birthday. Happy early birthday to your mother. But alright, I think I'll have to go for now. It's been an hour and a half. Before I leave, I'll give one little tease. And then I will go. Is that alright? One little tease for Boros Season 2. Monster Goro versus Release Boros. I think Boros wins, personally. If you've been completely disintegrated, how can you still speak in the stream? I meant Zombie Man completely was disintegrated and lived. Did I say me? What if the Death Angels invaded the Earth of Vita Carnus? Mimics versus Death Angels could be fun. Okay, see everybody, but before that, just one thing. One little tease of some artwork. What is he looking at, guys? What is he looking at? What's got him sweating like that? I want to hear theories. Godzilla vs. Top Dragons would be hype. Yeah, it's gonna be a video on Godzilla running a gauntlet of kaiju from One Punch Man. So like Elder Centipede, Sage Centipede, Fraud Centipede, you know, Orochis, people like that. Did you just start the recording? I only reached the stream now. I've been here for an hour and 30 minutes. So, yeah, better go. Ooh, bro is sweating. What are you looking at? Is he oiled up in that pic? No. He's chest high too, lol. Yep. Who drew that, by the way? Vega-kun on Fiverr. He does very good drawings. He's looking at the God of God. His dad. Green Shine, probably God, Tots, or something. Most interesting Phoenix Man matchups, how diverse in terms of storytelling. Maybe William Afton, both always come back, both are potential predators. We don't talk about that. Phoenix Man is not like that in my story, though. Now his cool Boros art. I'm in the recording for season 2. The title says new mic. Did you start using it to record yet? No, I only got it literally hours ago. This is the first test, if it works, and from the look of things, it does. He's looking at God Tatsumaki's assets. No, no. Is Super Chat off? It should be on, in theory. Is it on or off, actually? I can't really see it right now. In theory, it should be on. He's looking at his destroyed home planet. He wanted to beat someone there, but now he can't. We'll see. The answer gave me an idea. Does he see a more powerful Esper than Tatsumaki? Maybe. Who knows? Sound has improved a lot. Good to hear. He's looking at that race you mentioned in our older stream. Who knows? So quick question, is Final Orochi stronger than Psycho Orochi? Yes, he was in the What If. He was way stronger. He was a menace. I did kind of make him a little too OP maybe, but I had a lot of fun with it regardless. But alright, so yeah, gonna be it for today. So thank you guys for tuning in, for watching, and good to finally have a microphone. I can finally work again. So yeah, I hope you all have a good rest of the day, and see ya. Goodbye. He's looking at revived Corybus. I'm glad I saw that one though. He looks hypnotized. Alright, so yeah, see ya. Okay, if it's just who knows to everything, then you simply should not have asked us. No, I want to hear theories. I just don't want to spoil it, but I want to hear theories, guys. Come on. I love hearing theories. I just don't want to confirm or deny them, but I love theories. So yeah, have a good day, and goodbye. See you next time.